Yo, what's up, guys? Brandon B back at you again. And of course, I got to talk about something that is, I think, very difficult for a lot of us, and that is saying no. And the reason why I think it's so difficult to say no to our friends, our family, our loved ones, of course, I think it's because we haven't said yes to something greater, right? And what I mean by that is that oftentimes you ever work with somebody or did a project with somebody, and you can base this all the way back in elementary school when you have to do some a project, and you'll say, hey guys, what are we gonna work on? Somebody like, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Well, okay, well, what do you want to do? And that's how you have to approach your ability to say no to certain things, because if you don't know anything in terms of how to say yes to it, right? You haven't even discovered what you want to say yes to, then how can you say no to something? And what I mean, here's a small example. If someone says to you, you know what, you're off today, that means you're free, right? Now, if you're a person like me, you're constantly either working out, you're working on a book, you're working on YouTube videos, you're doing whatever. So just because you're off doesn't mean you're really off, right? You still might have something to do. You have to find a way, find something that's greater than the no, right? And that is how you can, in my opinion, can defeat peer pressure. It can defeat others' viewpoints of you. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to be disrespectful and say, well, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to do. No, you don't have to argue with anybody. You don't have to be disrespectful. All you have to do is just tell somebody, hey, I said yes to something else, and because I said yes to that, I'm honored that. Now, maybe we can get back, we can hook up later, and we can talk, and we can chill later, but right now, I got to work on this. One thing, if anyone knows me, they know that I love investing. I love investing in the stock market, and one thing that Warren Buffett taught, and he talked about this, and to me, it was kind of eye-opening. He talked about this concept of, obviously, which I'm sure a lot of us have heard, but the concept of long-term investing versus short-term investing, right? And he said that it's easier to make long-term investments versus short-term investments. And the reason why he said that is because it is easier to make 3 correct decisions than 100. What that means is that if you would have invested in Apple, right, in 2010, that was a correct decision. You only had to make that once, right? Now, obviously, you have to keep pouring money into it, but you have already chosen your stock, right? You've already chosen what you want. You've already chosen your mutual fund. You've already chosen the correct whatever. You already chosen the correct business, whatever. And so because of that, you only have to make maybe 3-4 correct decisions in a lifetime, right? In order to really be successful. It's the same way with the yes and no concept. Saying no every day, saying yes to something every day. Now, to me, I love daily goals, but I do think it's important that we adhere to our long-term goals, because our long-term goals are going to give us that information. They're going to give us that motivation, rather, to say no to something, right? If you're a person like me and you want to write books, right? Writing a book is not so, I can't just write a book today and be done with it tomorrow. It's a long-term decision. What that means is I have to say no to things, but I've already said yes to one thing. And the yes is, I want to write a book. I want to get this thing done. I'm going to get this thing published. Because of that, it makes it easier to say no across the board. I've already said yes once. I don't have to keep saying yes every day and wake up and, oh, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to do this. No, I've already said yes once. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to start coming up with long-term goals. Of course, make daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, right? And they compound with interest over time, of course. But really try to adhere to your long-term goals, because your long-term goals are going to keep you, they're going to be your anchor. They're going to be your anchor when people want you to do things that you either A, you don't want to do, B, you want to do, but you know it's not conducive towards the main goal. They're gonna be your anchor, right? Because you're gonna know, you know what, I want to lose X amount of pounds, so I can't go out and hang out with my friends and do this fast food thing I want to do with them. Or maybe I can, but I gotta bring my own food, right? Maybe I can hang out with them, but I gotta bring my own food. So whatever the case may be, and once again, you gotta know yourself. You have to know yourself. But this is one thing, like I said, I want you guys to really focus on making long-term goals. These long-term goals, you only have to make once or twice. You don't have to make a ton of long-term goals because they're long-term, right? Once they get accomplished, you can build back another concept of goals that you want to make for yourself. But you don't have to keep making these little goals that are not strong enough to withstand the no's out here in the world, the no's that you're going to need to make in order to be successful. And of course, wrapping this up, I want you guys to like, share, subscribe to this video, comment on this video, hit the notification button. Of course, Brandon B, and I'm back once again. And thank you guys for the support for the last video. And all I can say is Happy New Year once again. Thank you for your time.